Hello, everyone. I've been out of town filming, but I did want to get this short video out to you to encourage you. Times are scary to some. They shouldn't be to Christians. So, as you watch the wars and rumors of wars take shape, stay focused. Don't be afraid. We know how the story plays out. The rest of the world doesn't, and really this is for them. Like I said, we want to be able to maintain ourselves through this. If you get afraid, if you're constantly in tension because of it, it doesn't help your body. It doesn't help you feel good. We are priests of God. And as Christians, we have the Spirit living in us, not to command, but He's there to help us, to comfort us, to instruct us in our daily lives. So use every free gift you get, because they cost nothing. And in this time of inflation coming on, costing nothing is going to be a rarity. So you have to maintain your temple. We are the temple of God. We have the Spirit living in us. So you need to keep it clean and well maintained. It functions better that way. If you sin, it's dirty. Clean it up. You also have to eat healthy too. You need to take in good food, and you need to spiritually eat as well. Take advantage of that Spirit within you to feed you. Now, you need to exercise as well. You can't get anything for free. These bodies don't maintain themselves well over time, especially as we get older. Now, if you go to the gym and they don't recognize you, you're not going enough. And if you don't have a gym, well, you can work out at home. I've got plenty of things here that I can work out with if I choose to. There used to be a show on a long time ago. Jack LaLanne, he was a exercise guru, and he would sit there and he'd do this for the housewives that were sitting at home watching TV. He'd have a channel and he'd hit it, and he'd have his hands on the back of a chair and he'd lift his legs back, showing you all these exercises you could do at home with no equipment, no expense. Of course, you can, take an extra bedroom if you've got it and put a treadmill in there or elliptical or any other piece of equipment that you could use. I've had all of them, but I found it easier for me moving around to just belong to a gym, especially if I'm traveling and I'm not staying in hotels all the time. Camping and that, if I want a good shower, I can go to the gym and take a shower, as long as I'm a member. And if you don't know for sure, find a friend who does go to the gym. We can all bring guests. So there's no excuse. If you work out at home, just follow the same rules. Warm up first. Walk around a little bit. Loosen the joints. The older you get, the stiffer the joints are, and they take longer. I'm not giving you necessarily medical advice, or this is my practical advice that I use for myself. Now, when I had knee surgery, because I've been very active, I tore my meniscus in my knee, and they had to come in and replace the joint, just the meniscus joint. It was a partial knee replacement. Well, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do my normal routine for a few months. So what I did was I tried to increase my routine before my surgery. 1 week before my surgery, I ran a 5K. Now, it was difficult from the point of view that there was a slight uphill and I couldn't run forward because my knee joint, you have a stop in your knee that keeps it from bending backwards. I'd worn that off. And if I ran uphill, it kept wanting to bend backwards. I literally had to run backwards. I walked first and then I was going too slow, so I did pick up the pace and I ran backwards until I got over the top of the hill, and then I turned around. You do what you have to do to make do. And that's kind of what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to learn to be self-sufficient as much as possible. The price of gas is going up. You're going to have to limit your trips if you're on a tight budget. Drive slower if you're on a tight budget, because the faster you drive, the more gas you use. Keep your car maintained as best as possible. And if you don't know how to do some of the things on them, learn. I learned growing up. I've rebuilt engines. Now it's a lot of work nowadays, and having all the computer control stuff that they have, you might have to spend a little bit of money as you learn. And you can actually go to places, classes, and they will teach you. We got taught in high school. We had auto shop and wood shop and metal shop and all these different things where we'd learn trades. We learn economics in school. They don't teach any of that anymore because that would make you self-sufficient and not dependent on the government. So you got to make up for it. You got to learn now. I've got my little bird next to me chirping, watching me. He's a parakeet. I used to have canaries, but they can get loud. And we've got a parrot in the other room who can get very loud. Anyhow, things are going to get tough. Just be aware. Like I've said before in my other videos, be a lightweight prepper. You don't need to have a bomb shelter unless you live in Tornado Alley or something like that. Then you wouldn't be buying unless you could afford one. Otherwise, it's too dangerous. Trailer homes, they're great unless you're in Tornado Alley. They're tornado magnets. It's just being aware of your environment and your surroundings. If you've got a little bit of a yard, plant a garden. That will help supplement. Now, gardens can be expensive, so you got to do it smart. You don't go out and buy the 50-pound bag of fertilizer. You start an area for compost. People used to live like this all the time before we got lazy. You could go to the store and buy anything. Well, they didn't have that option back then. They would make everything. If you needed a new chair, they'd go cut a tree down and make one. These people were hardy. And you wonder why things that we're seeing now didn't happen back then, because they would have taken care of themselves. We as a people have become very soft. As a nation, our leaders are soft. That's what's encouraging the aggression that we're seeing around the world. China is doing war games off the coast of Taiwan, flexing their muscles. All the other tin pot dictators are going to be jealous, and they're going to have to start something themselves because all these other people are getting all this attention. What's happening in Ukraine is well orchestrated. It's planned. Our media is eating it up because they've got something else besides our leader to talk about. I can't say his name because it would hit the filter. They're starting to back down on PPE. I think that's okay. Trying to remember the words that I got to avoid for the filter. They're starting to back down. Many countries are lifting rules and controls for it. They're going to go to plan B, the economics. They're happy that the gas prices are going up. There's no reason for them to do that. However, our fearless leader stopped our pipeline and production and is relying on the world again. We were in good shape before he did that. Now we're reliant upon the fuel coming from what in many cases would be our enemies. They could shut it off in a second. But then that's what our leaders, which are puppets, are being told to do. Be ready. Get in shape. Walk. Walking is the easiest thing you can do. We're coming out of winter, not completely in certain parts of the country, but I'm in the south, so we had 70 degrees a few days ago. It's back down in the 40s now, but it won't be long. And then it'll be too hot for some. I actually like the heat. All right. That's all I want to say. I just didn't want to go this week without a video. Again, I was making an independent film. Those are, in my opinion, more fun. Last week I was on some full productions, big productions, but this week it's an independent film. We don't have the rules. There's no union, so if you can do something, step in and help out. We learn to be self-sufficient in independent films. Okay, maintain yourself, stay in connection with God, pray, read the Bible. You know the routine. Don't slack off because it looks like things are going to get bad. That's the time you need it. So until we meet in the skies, God bless.